Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Metropolis Radio. Today, we are taking a look at this article here, Disney changing actor contract policy after Scarlett Johansson lawsuit. Following Scarlett Johansson's bombshell Black Widow lawsuit, Disney CEO Bob Chapek confirms the studio will adjust actor contracts in the future. Well, right then and there, I'm gonna go out of my way and say this. He basically just handed Scarlett Johansson her legal defense. If they're acknowledging that they are altering contracts, that's it. I mean, this was her claim a few months ago. Disney CEO Bob Chapek confirms the studio will change its contract policy following Scarlett Johansson's lawsuit over the release of Black Widow. The coronavirus pandemic has altered the entertainment industry's irrevocability. I'm getting a little too ahead of myself. I gotta relax. Okay. The coronavirus pandemic has altered the entertainment industry irrevocably, with streamers rising up over the past year in the face of movie theater closures and audiences unwilling to venture out in public. Most major studios have adopted streaming alternatives for their biggest movies, including Disney. It has sent 5 movies to Disney Plus Premier Access since the pandemic began, from Mulan to Jungle Cruise. Of all the Premier Access movies, it's Black Widow that has caused the most trouble, even as it rakes in big bucks for Disney. In late July, Johansson stunned the industry when she sued Disney over breach of contract due to the Marvel film's streaming release. Johansson alleged she lost out on millions of dollars in box office bonuses and that she was promised an exclusive theatrical run. The public legal battle over Black Widow has gotten messy, with both sides slamming the other. Currently, Disney is working to avoid going to trial. Well, no shit. Especially if you have Bob Chapek coming out and saying, well, now we have to alter these contracts. Bob Chapek completely fucked himself, in my opinion. If anything is clear from this situation, it's that Disney needs better communication with its stars if streaming is going to continue to be a priority. CEO Chapek evidently knows this now, as he said at Goldman Sachs' 30th Annual Communacopia Conference via Deadline, that the studio will be adjusting its actors' contracts in the future. Quote, Disney has had a long history of having very symbiotic and cooperative deals with the talent, and we will continue to, Chapek began. Certainly, the world is changing, and the talent deals going forward will have to reflect the fact that the world is changing. He then elaborated by saying, quote, we're in a moment of time where films were envisioned under one understanding about what the world would be, because frankly, it hadn't changed much. Remember, those films were made 3 or 4 years ago. Those deals were cut 3 or 4 years ago. Then they get launched in the middle of a global pandemic where that pandemic itself is accelerating a second dynamic, which is this change in consumer behavior. So we're sort of putting a square peg in a round hole right now, where we've got a deal conceived under a certain set of conditions that actually results in a movie that is being released in a completely different set of conditions. So there's a bit of rest going on right now. Ultimately, we'll think about that as we do our future talent deals and plan for that and make sure that's incorporated. But right now, we have this sort of middle position where we're trying to do right by the talent. I think the talent is trying to do right by us, and we're just figuring out our way to bridge the gap. Ultimately, we believe our talent is our most important asset, and we'll continue to believe that. And as we always have, we'll compensate them fairly per the terms of the contract they were agreed to us with. End quote. Bull fucking shit. Anyone remember Alan Dean Foster? And they just decided, you know those royalties that, you negotiated decades ago with, George Lucas and Fox? Well, after we bought them out, we just decided, we don't want to pay them anymore, Because according to Disney, when Disney acquires a company, it only acquires its assets, and its liabilities just go away. They just, they go to that farm upstate where, the doggo can go run and play all day. Proper compensation for talent when something moves to streaming has become an important topic in the industry. Warner Brothers found itself in hot water late last year when it announced all 2021 movies would be released day and date on HBO Max. The studio had to renegotiate deals with stars like Will Smith and Margot Robbie. The basis of Johansson's Black Widow lawsuit is that Disney did no such thing despite initial efforts on the actress's part. While other Disney stars like Dwayne Johnson and Emma Stone opted not to sue, it's clear that Johansson's suit has sent a message. This further indicates that Disney will continue to put a priority on streaming in the future, which isn't surprising. The Mouse House will definitely roll out its Marvel and Star Wars pictures exclusively on the big screen, but smaller movies might become premiere access releases. If that is the case, revised actor contracts will be necessary. The pandemic has shown that not everything in the movie-making business can remain the same, and that includes how deals are struck. It's better to avoid another Black Widow situation if possible, and hopefully Disney will be able to do so by compensating its talent fairly. Well, like I said, the good thing that came out of this is basically Scarlett Johansson got handed her lawsuit here. If you have the Disney CEO coming out and saying, yeah, we kind of need to update these contracts, that way we avoid lawsuits like these, because initially a couple months ago when the lawsuit broke, they were actually avoiding talking about it because of course they're going to avoid talking about it because they don't want to acknowledge that, that Scarlett Johansson has a point, but now they ultimately have. How long is this going to last? Who really knows at this point? Like they said, the smaller movies might get, a premiere access only release, which I'm totally fine with. And then the bigger blockbusters are only reserved for the big screen. But again, how many people are going to be willing to pay $30 to, see a movie at home? Or are they going to wait 60 to 90 days for it to become free for the regular Disney Plus subscribers? That's another dilly of a pickle that they're in. But guys, I've gone on long enough, and I'm going to go ahead and end it right here. If you stuck around this long, thanks so much for doing so. And if you've been following me long enough, guys, I'm terrible at ending these videos, so I will just see you guys next time.